name is Raina.
My name is Damirawatika.
My name is Irawati.
My name is Farida.
And my name is Faiz.
So we are from English Letters Department. So today, because we are in the 4th semester, so we are going to the 5th semester.
Yes.
It means, guys, we have to choose professional subject.
Oh no.
So, for me, I want to choose tourism subject. How about you, Faiz?
Because my dreams is being a teacher, I will do teaching.
Teaching.
Wow.
Rida?
Maybe I want to take cinematography.
Ooh.
Because I think it is interesting.
How about you, Rida?
I wanna be journalism because I like to write.
So,
Seriously?
Yes.
How about you, Tika?
Bless. You know, guys. I think I wanna be translator.
Whoa,
It is my dream to be a translator. But I have doubt in my mind because I don't know how to write a good translator.
Good translation.
Translation, yes, and it is make me confused. Do you have some tips and tricks for me?
So,
Of course, we
of
have.
course,
yes.
we have.
help
So,
Don't worry, Domi. We will help you and solve your problem.
keep stay tuned on our channel.
Okay, guys, we are here going to give 7 tips to boost the content quality of our translation, especially in writing for translation. Actually, writing for translation is quite different from regular writing because usually native speaker will use some phrases that are rather hard to be understood because they have their own dialect and we have our own dialect. Translation is not only changing the word from the source language to the target language. The main purpose of translation is to make the reader understand what actually the text is intended for, and then to ensure that our result will make sure in the end to avoid some misunderstanding or awkwardness. We have to remember these 7 tips before we do the task.
So,
let's
check
it out. Woo. Hi. Let's go to the first tips. That is, keep your translation text become short. I think almost all of you find long sentences from source language and you have to translate it to target language and make sure your translation text is become short because it will make the target language easy to understand and got the point of your translating text. To make our translation text become short, we have to cut or remove useless words like repetition and something like that. For example, the source language is Indonesian language. Saya sungguh sangat merindukanmu. When we are translating the text become English or target language, it becomes I really miss you. It doesn't I really miss you or I'm very really miss you because it is not effective. But only I really miss you become short. When the sentence is too long, you can break down or becoming 2 sentence or phrase, so it becomes a short sentence.
What are you doing?
Yes.
Lol.
Hello, everybody. Here I want to give you the second tricks. It is unify the vocabulary. Wherever the content is about, the author needs to create a single vocabulary. For instance, there might be 8 great synonyms of development, but it is not good if you jump from one definition to another definition. Therefore, choose one term and unify the vocabulary. Therefore, before diving into the topic, you should to take several times to analyze the common word to use to unify the vocabulary. Let's just say that having a unified vocabulary is crucial thing for translation.
Okay, the third tips is use the proper word order. Each language that has its own particularity when it comes to word order. In many cases, that when you change one word to another language, that can affect the whole meaning when you not be careful about the word order. Look for the tips for translation. You must know about the most common pattern in order words. For example, in English, the most common pattern in basic of order words that in declarative sentence is the first is subject plus predicate and plus object. Often we got the subject plus verb and plus object. For example, here I have typed for you that Tom writes stories. The Tom becomes subject, writes become verb, and stories become object.
4. Avoid wordplays and humor. Even though having an interesting and humorous in writing, get rid of it can be more effective. Remember, you're writing for multiple audiences, and translation tips like using simple English can greatly speed up your project. Use words that have a precise meaning so your translators does not have to search for different meanings to understand your intentions. No matter whether you are creating essay like cause and effect essay or an article for an international paper, humor can be a major enemy in your writing or in your translation. And then, do you want to be funny or clear? For example, about humor and wordplay is you use peeps or pals for friends, peeps for people. So that's not allowed when you are translating a text or an essay. Some final translation tips for the best word. Do not forget to talk with your translators. Maybe things you are talking about in your task are not present in the slide or your target audience. As a result, you will not reach the goals you have behind the text. Therefore, you can either explain what those realities represent or how they are relevant to your main message, or rewrite the piece together. No matter whether you're professional translators or content manager or a student working on this task with a clear system in mind, they will no longer to worry about the quality of the end translation. So don't worry to be a great translator because you have those tips.
Then the fifth tips is use simple grammatical construction. When it comes to using passive or active construction, be sure to pick the easiest one and the clearest one. It's better for you to pick active voice rather than passive voice, especially in Bahasa Indonesia. Bahasa word construction is likely close to passive construction. I will give you a brief example. Farida is looking for her pen. She loses her pen. Then she asks her other friends, in bahasa like this. Ada yang melihat ballpoint biruku? Then her other friends said, ballpointmu dibawa Tika. This construction, ballpointmu dibawa Tika, is a passive construction. When we translate it into English, it's better for you to use Tika brings your pen rather than your pen is being brought by Tika. To make sure that your text is not overloaded with passive voice, you can use Hemingway application. Copy your text, then insert it to this application. Then automatically this program will highlight all the passive construction or even some sentences that are not appropriate. This application will automatically highlight all of them.
The sixth tips is don't opt for phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are not best option for you, especially when they come before and after preposition. It will make you confused or it might be misunderstood. Besides, you might not set a correct tone with phrasal verb. All in all, try to use single word instead of phrasal verb. For the examples, take down notes can be replaced by write notes, and fill out can be replaced by complete, and egg on can be replaced by encourage. That is the 6 tips.
The 7th tips is watch out for the dates. Did you know when people from Eastern Europe that write the dates use the first is use day and the 10 use the month. This is easy things, but if you don't be careful about this, your document become ruined. Here I have write from the first use st, and the second nd, the third at d, and fourth th. And until 12 you also use th. The translation tips in here, if you don't know about the target country you want to write the dates, maybe you can search in internet that there are many information about how to write the dates from your target country.
Okay, so that's all the